Hi guys, welcome back to Saturday Morning Cartooning. Before we get to today's cartoon, let's take a look at some of your art. Today we're going to be learning about a Saturday morning character who began life as a movie title. We're going to be talking about the Pink Panther. If you've never heard of the Pink Panther, you might be more familiar with the iconic Pink Panther theme, composed by Henry Mancini. This famous cartoon character actually started as an animated opening to the Pink Panther film series, a collection of 5 comedy films from the 1960s, originally starring Peter Sellers as Inspector Clouseau, a bumbling, ineffective police inspector. The movie is about a jewel thief trying to steal a priceless pink diamond called the Pink Panther. The animated opening, animated by legendary animation director Friz Freleng, was a hit with kids, despite the fact that the film was not geared towards children. The Pink Panther was usually depicted as a silent character with no voice, who would annoy the little man, a secondary character that was actually a caricature of animator Friz Freleng. The Pink Panther is a great example of how theatrical cartoons that played in movie theaters, are different from television animation. Television animation was produced faster and much more cost-efficient than theatrical cartoons. The end results are cartoons with less fluidity of motion, more choppiness, and halted movements. In addition to the cartoons from the 1960s, the Pink Panther has also appeared in several cartoon iterations throughout the 80s and 90s. He is even an advertising mascot for the Owens Corning Corporation with their line of pink building insulation. The Pink Panther has certainly made a name for himself, considering the character began his career as a movie title. Alright, let's get started with the Pink Panther. Taking a look at our reference photo, we're going to break it down into its foundational shapes. We can see that his head is sort of like an upside down triangle, ovals for ears and eyes. His muzzle is going to be made with a bunch of ovals as well. His long torso is sort of like a stretched out bean shape. He has very long, spindly arms and legs. His feet are relatively large compared to his legs, and then his tail is as long and spindly as his arms and legs, and just probably even longer than his legs. So let's begin by drawing out those basic shapes. Let's start with his head. I'm going to do sort of like a rounded triangle, upside down triangle. And he's got eyes that sort of float on the top, like right about here. 2 egg shapes for his eyes. And then his ears are also going to be sort of rectangular. I'm sorry, triangular. Alright. He's got a little bit of a neck, and then it goes into the torso. And again, we said the torso is sort of like a stretched out bean shape, sort of like this. It's very long. Right. And then his legs, luckily for us, his legs are together, so we're basically drawing one leg. It's just going to extend down. The thing about the Pink Panther, because he's so tall and thin, let's take a look at that reference photo again. He's all verticals. Everything is just long vertical lines. His arms, his legs, his torso, his tail, everything. So just keep that in mind as you're drawing. So just remember those vertical lines. Alright. His one arm is going to be coming down this way from here. Just erase that one. So we've sort of got like a little shoulder here, and then it goes down to the middle of the torso, and then it goes out. And then his other shoulder is here, and then this one goes out this way. And it goes down towards that arm and then up this way. I'm just putting in the lines right now. We're going to go back in and do the actual arms in a little bit. He's actually very easy to construct because he is all small, thin shapes. Get his tail in there, right from almost the bottom of the torso, and then out. Again, use that vertical line going down. Let's get those feet in, which are just almond shapes going out this way and this way. And then his legs are just split right down the middle. And now we can begin working on a little bit more detail. Let's start with the head. We know that his eyes are right here, and he's going to have pupils here and here. What's interesting about his eyebrows is they are connected to nothing. They float right above his eyes. So all we need to do on either side is put in a little floating rectangle that's going to be on a diagonal. All right, and he's going to have a nose going down this way. So start a tip of a triangle, then finish that triangle and make this another rounded triangle right underneath. That's going to be his nose. All right. On either side of this rounded triangle, you're going to be putting his muzzle. So he's going to have one side of his muzzle here, the other side here. And actually connected it too close. They're going to connect just under that triangle right here, because we want to put a little line for separation of his cheeks right there. And he's going to have a little bit of a chin, a little bit longer than what we drew right around here. All right. Then on either side of this muzzle, we're going to have his smile. That's going to be as if it's behind the muzzle. We're going to have a line here and a line here, and then these little smile lines. Inside each ear, you're going to put sort of like an upside down teardrop right there and there. We're going to go back in when we ink to do the whiskers. But let's get these arms straightened out. We have his neck going down, and then this arm creating that shoulder that we sketched in earlier. This line will be the bottom of this arm, and then this line will be the top of this arm. Here and here. Alright, so we constructed that whole arm. Now let's do this one. This line here will be the top of this arm, and then the bottom of it is going to be on this side of the torso. I'm going to stop right there because I want to complete this section right here, which is going to be sort of like his little chest section. So we're going to draw a line up from the arm here, curving around, creating that chest section that once we color is going to be slightly lighter pink. And then this line goes down and creates this line that's going to separate the legs. So right here. And then this can go right back up to his belly. And then the other side of the leg. Okay. Let's work a little bit on the, finish up these arms and then get those hands in there. Hands are usually the parts of a cartoon character that people have the most trouble with. And I think to some extent I do too, because you are so nervous to make sure that you get your fingers in the right positions. But what I usually tell my students in class is to not spend too much time on hands and feet, because you want to have fun when you're drawing cartoons. And if you're spending all your time making sure that your hands and your feet look exactly perfect, you're going to stop having fun and it's going to become a chore. So just try to have fun and not to worry if it doesn't come out exactly the way you want it. Again, one of the easiest things to do, like when we construct the whole body, is to construct the hands into different shapes and then draw on top of that, which is what we're going to do today. So this one hand is going to come out this way, and the fingers are going to sort of go this way, and it's going to be bent. So we're just drawing that shape in first, all right? And then a thumb, which is going to be sticking up this way. All right, that's all we're going to do for now. Then we're going to separate this shape into different fingers in a minute. This hand is going to come up this way. We can create the thumb first. And then it's going to have finger here, here, and here. And then that's your whole hand shape. And you don't have to worry about going back. So thumb, finger, finger, finger. Let's do this one. Okay, we're going to see a little bit of a line of the palm of the hand right there. This finger is going to go up. So we could probably even go a little bit further than that. And then the other fingers are going to be behind it. If you'll look at the reference photo, you'll notice how this finger goes up and then these fingers go behind it. In fact, that middle finger, the one over here, we don't even see because it's cut off by this finger. So you don't have to worry about drawing it. So we're just going to draw this one and then the line of where that third finger is, and that's all you have to do. Let's finish up the tail, which is very easy. We already drew the one line. Just thicken it. Put a little curvy line at the end and then go right back up. Notice how I'm going very sketchy with the pencil and light. That's because if I need to erase something, then there won't be a little ghost image afterwards. If you press too hard and then you try to erase, you'll never fully erase it. But if you do nice and light at the beginning, and if you make a mistake, it'll be easily erased. All right, and all we need to do for the feet is just put in the lines where the separation of the toes are going to be. Here and here. That's it. Here and here. Alright, we have our pencil renderings all done. So we're going to take a minute and we're going to ink our drawing. And remember, when you're using your permanent markers, be careful of furniture, be careful of your clothing, and be careful of your skin. Alright, it'll eventually come out of your skin, but it might take a while to come out of your furniture or clothing, if it ever does. So just be very, very careful with permanent markers. Alright, so let's start with the eyes, because these are the ones that are going to be right on the top. I love how his eyes just sort of just bob on the top of his triangle-shaped head. And then the eyebrows themselves, they're not attached to anything. They just float in midair. That's a cartoon for you. That's allowed in cartoons. You can do the pupil. You could leave a little bit of a gleam in there. It looks like he has a little bit of a shiny eye. And let's do the shape going around. Now, this is the part where you have to be careful of what you're doing. We're not going to be inking all of these lines. Remember, we drew this ear onto a triangle shape. So what we're going to do is, so that the ear looks like it's all one piece, we're going to ink it all around so that it looks like it's all one piece. Alright, and then you do the inside of the ear, which is that upside down teardrop shape. Let's do the other side. Alright, now it looks like the ear is actually connected to the body. Let's do this. Remember, that's the top of his nose. This rounded shape, this rounded triangle, is his actual nose. And then he had the muzzle on either side with that line separating the two. And then he has this U shape at the bottom, which is going to be his chin. Alright? Then go back and do his smile lines. He's a very exaggerated smile line. Remember, exaggeration is absolutely 100% allowed in cartoons. It should be exaggerated. That's his neck. And then we're going to do this shoulder. Into that hand. Alright, so we're going to draw the line right into the thumb, then right into this finger, and then you just draw the two other fingers right behind it. 1 and 2. Going right back into the hand, into the arm. Alright, before we do this arm, let's do this side of his chest, and then do this arm. That way, we're not going to get confused about what lines we're inking and what lines we're not going to be inking. Alright, remember this finger is going to be going up this way, so let's do this one first. This finger's cutting off the other two. So whatever's in front I like to draw first. So do this finger. Then you can go back down into the arm. We already finished that one. Do the line for hit the palm of his hand, and then this finger, and that's just the suggestion of the other finger that we're not going to see because it is cut off by this finger. Alright, he really is a lot of vertical lines, isn't he? Let's do this line. Now, this whole section we can go straight down because we're not going to see where the tail connects to the body. Then we can finish up this line here, and then this line here. Vertical lines, vertical lines. That's that almond shape for each foot. What makes it real easy is that these two legs are sort of, in this particular drawing, his legs are fused together. Makes it easy to draw. And then all we have to do, let me just darken that one a little bit more, is just suggestions of where the toe separations are. Alright, then we're going to ink his tail. That's all our line drawings, our inkings. Now let's take a little bit of time and erase our original pencil lines. And as what usually happens is, once I'm done erasing the original pencil lines, I see something that I forgot to ink, and I definitely forgot to ink his whiskers. So he has two coming out of each side. Now you can try to keep a flicky motion in there, and that'll help give you a tapered line. Mine got a little crooked, but that's okay. Now it's time to color. Now, if you take a look at our reference photo, you'll see that he is not just one color pink. He's actually 3 color pinks. There's a light color pink for his muzzle and his chest. His whole body is another color of pink, and then his nose is an even darker color of pink. This particular drawing used that dark pink to outline the entire character. I used black, and that's okay too. But we're going to need the 3 colors. We're definitely going to need that dark pink for his nose. So we're going to need dark pink, medium pink, and light pink. Okay, we're going to use a pink marker for the actual color of the body. So let's go ahead and just pink it up. Okay, we're going to use this dark colored pencil to do the dark of the nose. But we're just going to use the same pencil to do that light pink, but we're not going to press as hard. Just a little bit. Alright. And then the last thing we got to do is he's got yellow eyes. So we're just going to take some yellow and just do the yellow of his eyes. Ooh, one last thing. The insides of his ears. Just a tiny little touch of pink. Alright guys, there you have it. The Pink Panther.